let's say hypothetically that the Bucs do win the Super Bowl this year. Does it get to a point where Brady really genuinely considers retirement? I mean, at that point, he would have 8 Super Bowls in the 22-year career that he's had up until this point. Does he just hang it up there, or is he still not satisfied just because he thinks that he can go out there and perform at a high level?
Bro, if I'm being 100% honest with you, as stupid and far-fetched as this may sound, if he gets 8 and they keep the team the same again, if not like really, really close, because eventually they are going to have some cap issues keeping people. Like Mike Evans had to take a $9.8 million cut just to keep practice squad and like injured reserve, like people compensated. I think that Tom's going to go for 10. As dumb as it sounds, he's 44 right now. If he wins by the time the Super Bowl comes, he'll be 45, which means he's going to remain consistent, at least physically. I don't see why he can't push for 10. We're talking about 2 full seasons. As long as his shoulder doesn't fall out, Tom's not throwing for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, and he's not throwing for 153 point whatever the hell passer rating is. He's getting it done. 250 yards here, 2 or 3 touchdowns here. He's not flawless. He has a pick here and there. Shit, he might get sacked and fumble. It's about his durability. They have great running backs in Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones Jr. They just signed Giovanni Bernard for the passing game and short third down. So I think he'll be a lot more useful than LaShawn McCoy was last year. So I think that's a little bit of an upgrade, at least in the running back category and special teams. But realistically, if he gets 8 this year, there's no reason why he doesn't try for 10. I'm not saying he gets 10. But they could legitimately create a dynasty in which they are competing in this nucleus of personnel to go for back to back to back to back. Again, I'm not saying it's going to be done, but don't be surprised if they come out there and if they win this year, they compete for another 2, or at least they try to give Tom 10 just so he can say I got 5. And obviously that would be what he had 6 in New England. He'll have 4 with Tampa Bay. Bro, that's basically 2 hands. That's literally like almost 5 and 5 from each, which is absolutely insane. But again, Tom's got the ability, as long as he stays healthy and he can stay upright throughout the year. And if he continues to condition his body like he's been doing in the offseason and making sure that he's got Giselle, rubbing his body down, whatever he's got to do. Bro, he's in Sunshine State, Florida. He doesn't got to worry about the winter no more. He ain't got to worry about being cold no more. He don't got to go on vacation because he already lives in vacation. Bro, realistically, I don't see why Tom Brady does not go for 10 if they win this year.
I mean, bro, he already surpassed Thanos with the Infinity Stones with 7 last year. So I don't know if he's going to get to 10. I think that's too big or too lofty of a possibility. I do think, though, if he gets this one, I think this one is crucial. I'm saying if I'm going to go with your hypothetical about him possibly going for 10, he has to get this one. And then they would have to run the table for the next 2 years after that.
Agreed. And I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying if he gets 8, you know Tom. His competitive spirit. Bro, he's going to get it, and he's going to just see 2 empty fingers, and he's going to say, fuck it. If I can do it, I'm doing it.
I mean, they would have...
bro.
It's like we talked about this before we started recording. It depends on whether or not that he's satisfied. And I think if he gets this one, I think that satisfaction gut feeling that he has will start to really kind of creep into his mindset. But I don't think it's going to be enough to force him to retire.
Agreed. So to a certain extent, I don't think he's going to be satisfied. I'm telling you, he's going to see this. He's going to see this.
I got 2 more.
Fuck, it's empty.
But I realistically think if he gets this one, I think there's a real shot that he might go for 10. He has to get this one, though.
Agreed. If they lose, I'm not saying he's going to retire.
But I think it's like you said, though. It depends on whether or not that he thinks that he's a championship caliber quarterback. And up until this point, I have seen nothing to tell me otherwise than that. So it's kind of ironic that Tom Brady has outlived Max Kellerman, the guy that said that Tom Brady was going to fall off a cliff, that he outlived Max Kellerman's tenure.
You have been waiting to say that all night.
I know. I just think it's
ironic. You had your moment. Just enjoy it, bro.
It's just, listen, I got the guy up in my right corner for a reason. 20
He's the
years of
fucking he's the
success.
fucking GOAT,
I
bro.
know.
He's the GOAT.
Listen, it's just it is what it is. It's just ironic to me that he just outlived Max Kellerman's tenure on first take. But yeah, I do think that 8 is a real possibility. 10's a stretch though. 10's
Agreed.
10's a
I'm not
stretch.
saying it's gonna happen. I'm just saying I just don't see him hanging it up, saying like, oh well, like I got 8. I just went back to back. I'm like, fuck it, I'm done. No, I just think he's gonna be like, I can do it. Like I think I can do it, and I don't see why the fuck he wouldn't try. So
But I mean, that would be unbelievable. Imagine winning 4 Super Bowls in 4 years in a row.
I'm bro at
The,
that point I might stop watching football.
l-
Honestly, I might just hang it up and
listen,
say I just witnessed. I was alive for all 10 of his rings, bro.
I mean, it's one thing to say that he's like the greatest football player. Like you'd have to start like making the argument like is he the greatest like sports figure ever?
Modern day era, yeah. I mean, because obviously, like Bill's got 11, and Bill was an iconic
There were
person for the 50s and 60s.
and there were only I think 8 teams at the time in the NBA. In the NFL, you have 32 teams.
Yeah, so it's a
So
little bit different, but nevertheless, in terms of greatest athlete, greatest winner, I would probably say yeah, maybe because Yogi got 10 too.
yeah, and that was kind of like during like the heyday back in the 20s and the 30s for the
20s and
NBA.
30s, yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely up for debate. I would definitely say that he'd be at the top of like the greatest like figure for team sports, individual
He's
sport.
already on Mount Rushmore for greatest athletes for a fact.
Hmm.
It's just a matter of the order